the time circuits are working with us, and that we're on the same page. All right, right now I don't see anything.
That's good.
Give me a sec. Yeah, I think it just needs to reload. All right, we're live. We're live. We're officially live, fellas. Okay, ready?
Woo!
3, 2, 1. Welcome to BatYard's Finest, bringing you the finest of Batman and Superman and whatever the hell else we want to talk about in pop culture. With me always in the center, out in front, wearing this beautiful Godzilla Christmas ugly sweater is Matthew. I'll let you introduce yourself.
What's up? I'm Matt. What's going on?
And returning with us again is Robbie, all the way at the end. Thank you for coming back on, Robbie. This is a treat. We're gonna have a nice trio today. So, Robbie,
thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm excited to break this down.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. I have a lot to talk about. Before we get started in our little mediums, do we have any BS we want to talk about? This is a portion of the segment of the show where we kind of BS about Batman, Superman, or whatever we want to bring up before we get into the main topic. So is there anything we want to talk about before we get onto the mediums?
You think they're gonna bring back the Snyderverse?
Oh, that's an excellent question. It's a little too early, I think, to say. I think there's a lot of people rallying for the Snyderverse.
Right.
Yeah, I think even Ben Affleck and some celebrities, The Rock, who's going to be, I almost said Shazam, Black Shazam.
Black Adam.
Yeah, he's Black Adam. So he's rallying for it. I know Gal Gadot, a bunch of cosplayers. I don't know how I feel about it. I know a lot of people are saying they should just move on. And a part of me is saying, I would be kind of curious to see what they're continuing, the path they're continuing on off the course of the Snyderverse. But at the same time, if they're going to do multi-dimensional storylines, might as well have the Snyderverse correspond with what they're going with at the same time, so, everyone kind of wins and they'll make a lot of money because they're going to satisfy most audiences. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the Snyderverse?
I mean, I don't really know much about it. Just seeing the film and how the story, kind of present itself compared to the original Snyder cut, or I'm sorry, the original cut. I think it'd be more interesting to go with the Snyder cut because the storytelling was more in depth and you got a lot more characters. Like
very open-ended. Yeah,
you got Martian Manhunter that came in. I forgot the Atom at the very end.
Oh, apparently that scientist who shows up for a second is the Atom.
Yes.
I'm surprised they haven't had. He's like that Asian scientist who was working at the lab with Victor Stone's father, Dr. Stone. He shows up for literally a scene. And then I found out later that that's supposed to be the Atom. I'm surprised they didn't have any, Asian actors representing a superhero, in general before, Marvel or DC. So it would be nice to get, that in the forefront and have everyone kind of be, shown to the public like, every ethnicity and everyone should be supported that way. So I'm surprised it's taken this long. We have, Black Panther. We have, it would just be nice if everyone kind of, was showcased. I don't know how you feel, Matt, about the Atom or Martian Manhunter.
I feel okay with that, but I just feel like they should have announced him a little bit more, gave him more of a presence.
It was just a cameo, yeah.
I know, but I feel like they should have given more of an opening, so we got something going on than what we got. But I wouldn't have caught it if you guys didn't tell me.
No, I wouldn't have known either. Just like how they killed off Jimmy Olsen. Oh, what happened? You guys just left. I didn't kick you out. All right, hold on, guys. Hold on. I guess we're just going to continue this podcast. I'm the only one who can hear them right now, so I'm just live on my own. Just click. If you guys can, just click on the link again. It should just send you right back in. I don't know why I kicked you out. That was pretty weird. Hi, everyone. I'm by myself. I am talking to them through my phone on my headpiece, so I can hear them, but you currently can't. So, oh, here they are. Okay, they're back. All right, we're going to switch the order now. I think Robbie's going to be in the center. All right, you guys are back. All right, awesome. Sorry about that little delay, but that didn't last too long. That was, I don't know what happened. They just decided to shrink into atoms and leave the conversation. So welcome back.
I had to throw that one in there.
Oh, it's a good segue. But, I don't know. So what are your guys' thoughts on the Snyder Cut? Robbie, you said, you kind of want to continue it. Yeah. Matt, what are your thoughts on that?
Like, how do I go with this? No, I totally agree with how you guys are saying, like, well, mostly what Robbie was saying, like, oh, they did continue on. They had all this, like, openings for expanding the universe. But, like, the thing is, like, in my head is that, okay, they stopped, what's it called? They stopped making the movie, but, like, the universe. But what's stopping them from using the actors and actresses for future movies? Mm-hmm. So, like, how, like, it doesn't really... I just don't get that part, like how they feel like, oh, they're not going to probably get the role. They're just going to be just in a different universe in a way. But, like, I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted. I just feel like if they killed it, there has to be a good reason to killing it and just let it die. Be happy we got the cut. I don't think Warner Brothers is going to, like, probably resurrect it. Because it's been, like, what, since 2017, since we got, like, an actual, like, real setup for the movie.
Yeah, that was, like,
But the funny thing is, Wonder Woman came out just recently, and she's in the Snyder universe. So suck it up, guys. They're still continuing in a way.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense. I feel like almost the DC universe is going to get too saturated with too many storylines at the same time. So average audience moviegoers is not going to know what's really going on. Am I supposed to follow this Batman with Robert Pattinson? Am I supposed to follow Ben Affleck? Now Michael Keaton's coming into play, and they're going to have that Flash movie.
That's the Flash universe. The Flash movie is going to be having both Batmans. So if you think about that, Flash movie is definitely going to be Snyderverse, like, storyline attached.
Yeah.
The one that's the Batman movie, you can actually just say that's a separate movie series now because they haven't even. That's the way they have it set up. It doesn't feel like Snyderverse. It doesn't feel like it's even attached in a way. It's so different. It's including its pre-Snyderverse anyway. Mm-hmm. So any way they can branch off until they hit the age when Batman hits the Snyderverse with these stories.
Yeah, so the Robert Pattinson Batman movie is supposed to be its own universe. It's not like it's going back in time to when Batman was younger.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, a lot of people always forgot about it. I'm actually pretty excited for it because I like Robert Pattinson. I think he's going to do a great job being Batman. I know a lot of people are going like, oh, Twilight and all this. I saw The Lighthouse. He was fucking awesome in that movie, so I'm really stoked.
So he's a very good actor. And,
yeah.
He kind of has that edginess to it that you can, put into Batman and, kind of expand on that.
Yeah, it seems like they're going to go more into psychosis of Batman. Mm-hmm. Like, he looks like more like a madman in this version, which I'm, like, pretty excited with. They haven't really touched upon that too much in other Batman films.
Mm-hmm.
No, including I like how, like, he's more brutal. It feels more brutal, and like how it feels like he's going to learn how to adjust his Batman a bit, like his hero role style in this movie with like the stages of probably like breaking down stages, like how he basically destroyed that one person. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to realize he did the wrong thing. He just ruined him. He's not going to get that much. He should back up a little bit with brutality and slowly become an actual real hero than just an asshole in a costume.
Yeah, I kind of like how he starts out like pretty brutal, and then he like kind of steps it back, like he knows how to hold back like his brutality.
Yeah, that's how I feel like it's
you know?
gonna be.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I need to see what it's coming out this year or next year, right?
I don't know when it comes out. There's a lot of news we got. I mean, we could talk about the James Gunn Suicide Squad that's coming out as well. That trailer came out.
That's gonna be freaking bomb.
I think it looks pretty good. I haven't watched the whole trailer. I was watching on my phone. It was like buffering halfway through. I was like, oh, I've seen enough. I know I'm gonna watch it. I don't want too much to be spoiled for me because like I kind of like hate trailers for that because they spoil the best moments of the movie. You know, I almost feel like a scene was already spoiled for me, you know, just like watching the first couple seconds of the film. And, you know, I want to see that fresh in the theater or on streaming, wherever the hell we're going to be in these times, you know, like I want to see that fresh, like when I first see it, you know, I don't want it to be spoiled in a trailer, you know? So that's why I was like, you know, I've seen enough. I'm going to just stop watching it.
Yeah, that's why I did. I stopped watching. You know, I get on my Facebook feed like Screen Rant pop-ups. It's like, oh, it's this and that. And like, a lot of that was happening for the Godzilla film. And I just completely shut it off. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, I haven't really been spoiled about the Godzilla film really at all. Except for like a weapon that was used, but like that was fine. It didn't really spoil anything major for me.
Yeah, it didn't help when I was going through the comments just as.
I'm
curious.
I try to like I'm trying to avoid all that stuff, like all the spoilers, you know, like I even like I said, even trailers I feel like reveal too much nowadays. Like back in like the 70s and 80s, like they would just go like, you know, in the 80s they would go plot for plot what the movie is, but they won't reveal the ending, you know. Right. So I want trailers to be kind of like, you know, just kind of give me the feel of the movie, but keep the mystery in there as well. Like when they're showing that scene where they're trying to rescue Harley Quinn in the trailer. I mean, I know this is kind of like a spoiler, I feel, but it was in the trailer, so I feel like we could talk about it. I mean, like they're trying to save Harley Quinn from, I don't know, wherever she is, and they're trying to break her out, and then she just ends up coming out and she has a bloody nose. She's like, oh, well, what are you guys doing? They're trying to scale up the wall. They're like, oh, we're trying to save you. Oh, well, I could go back in, you could save me, you know, kind of thing. And that would have been nice to see that to be revealed, you know, when I first watch it. I don't want that spoiled, and now that scene's spoiled for me. So I know it's going to be early on, but still, you know, I want to be fresh watching the movie.
Yeah, for the third Transformers movie, like the Dark
Oh no! Why'd you? I gave up on the movie so long ago.
I know. I gotta watch it because I love Transformers.
I'm too deep in those movies, so I can't even. I'm too deep.
So I'm
all the way to the fifth one.
I got spoiled in that one, and it was actually I was on like Reddit or something, and it was like months before the movie even came out, and some guy was like, "I'm 200% positive that Ironhide gets shot by Sentinel Prime, the Cosmic Roast Blast." And I was like, oh, that's fucking stupid. And then it turned out that's what happened.
And it happens. I mean, you expect anything stupid that you could write down yourself with your eyes closed would happen in those movies, because that's the state of the writing in those films. It's just, you know, get really drunk, spin around in a circle, close your eyes, and write a script, and that's how they wrote the movie. That's how I feel those Transformers films are. I gave up after the second one. I couldn't watch it anymore. Like, the first one was adequate. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm kind of into this. And then I saw the second one. I was totally out. I was like, you know, I bail. I can't. Even now, that's me like when I'm 12, 13 years old, when it's supposed to be the greatest movie ever. And if it's not hitting me then it's not going to hit me, you know, anytime. I'm the prime demographic at that point in time, you know?
Yeah, I was like, because it's, you know, robots just beating each other up.
Yeah, that's fun. But I get a lot more out of that kind of feel out of the movie we're going to talk about than any of the Transformers films. I get more fun out of that.
Yeah.
But is there anything you guys want to bring up about Snyder Cut or anything BSBS before we kind of continue on?
We were talking about Suicide Squad. How have you guys seen the trailer for the freaking game?
Oh, yeah, I
from the
did see that.
freaking movie.
I did see that. It came out a couple months ago, like before the trailer.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Oh, it looks
pretty cool.
Great.
I hope it's like online. I hope you could like Robbie was saying when the Justice League was fighting Steppenwolf and you could switch characters. I hope the game is basically like that.
Yeah.
Just you could kind of work on each other's strengths. Like King Shark is the brute, Harley Quinn is like the acrobat, you know, and the I guess Captain Boomerang would be the long range weapon guy. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you do have the Deadshot. He's in it, so he's
right.
Rifle guy too. But they have a weird look to him though. But they do bring Captain Boomerang does have like a shotgun boomerang he likes to use in this trailer, and it's pretty neat.
I only seen it that one time. I think it's Rocksteady who made the Batman Arkham games. I don't think it's tied into that universe. I think it's just them just kind of continuing on with the DC realm of games. So I'm pretty excited for it. It looks awesome. I mean, I don't have a PS5 or Xbox 180 or whatever it's called.
Xbox.
I want to say 1000.
Yeah, don't they go backwards? It's like 360, and now it's 1. What is it now? Xbox X? What is it called?
It's Series X and Series S.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, don't ask me why.
There's too many X's and S's. Like what is it called?
Yeah, they actually ran into an issue. Well, not they personally, but like some people started buying like Xbox Ones by accident.
Oh, because they thought that was the new system?
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. See, they fucked up the order and everything.
Well, technically, right now.
What, man?
Well, technically, right now. Oh God.
We're starting to talk.
Many people. No, because you guys are still talking. No, because all my PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 controllers are all dying on me recently. So I'm like, I need to get a new one. So I went to every store around me. They're all sold out. I got Best Buy's all sold out. Target's sold out. GameStop. There's two GameStops near me. Sold out.
Yeah, what
finds out there's supposedly that people are probably buying these controllers thinking they work for the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox freaking Series X.
Stupid.
And then supposedly there's rumors have it that scalpers are buying them so they can have an inventory of them when finally they kill off the product. They can have this stock and sell it at a high price.
Okay.
That's supposedly another rumor going out there.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm still going around with a broken PlayStation freaking controller. Then out of nowhere, that takes over my game, so my guy just starts running across the map for no reason.
That was actually happening.
Thanks to these people.
That's funny that you mentioned that because it happened to me too. Because I went to GameStop and I was trying to buy a new PlayStation controller. There was like, we're sold out. I'm like, all right, fuck this. Get out of here.
Yeah, I talked to the guy and I was like, dude, what's going on? Because everywhere it doesn't have a PlayStation 4 controller. He's like, yeah, it's a funny thing because last month people were buying all my Xbox One controllers. They're all gone now, but now it's this month. I have Xbox One controllers, no more PlayStation 4 controllers. But I got the new generation controllers that nobody wants to get. But that's the newest console, though. So what the hell?
I don't know how. I haven't even played or seen one of these things physically in person, so I'm gonna wait till someone else gets it and I can play it at someone else's house.
It's all about that.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh my God. So I think we talked enough about BSBS.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna move on to our main topics of discussion. So discussion 1 is we're talking about Boosters Gold. Basically, it's a Justice League Action episode that came out in 2017 called Boosters Gold, where Green Arrow becomes involved with Booster Gold's ploy to create his own theme park called Booster World, where he brings dinosaurs from the past into the present, and everything kind of goes haywire. I don't know about you guys, but this is like, I don't know. I love this episode. I wasn't.
It was amazing.
It's Jurassic Park.
It's basically Jurassic Park and
yes, it was
Planet of the Apes in one thing. And I wasn't expecting it to like it as much as as I did. This is the first time I've seen it. I'm sure it's the first time you guys seen it. I've seen a couple other episodes of Justice League Action. I do own it on the PlayStation Store, as you guys know. I lent them my account and they watched it.
Thanks.
I really enjoyed it. It was a lot more enjoyable than I expected. Like I said, I've seen a few episodes of Justice League Action. I enjoy it. It's kind of needed levity to the DC universe, and this was corresponding at the same time with Arrow, which they make a little jab at the end of it, and I actually really appreciated that. And this is kind of like, I know it's more for kids, but this is kind of like more I want out of a DC universe is a little levity and not so serious and dark, because like a fucking a character talks to fish. How serious can you really bring these characters to?
You're telling me you don't want like where's Morthal?
No, I don't want that at all. It's awful. It's not good. I don't like that. It makes me depressed, and it makes me want to hang myself after I see those movies. I don't feel good after watching that.
I'm going to say this. That man doesn't just only talk to fish. He can part the sea. He controls water and shit, man. Come on.
I know.
He does amazing. He spins that Titan thing like this.
I want to see a crossover Aquaman and Moses team up. That's what I want to see. I want to see that movie.
Coming soon in 2 years.
It's a family line.
Yeah, exactly. It goes to Moses somehow to Prometheus and wait, who's the god of the sea? Is it is it Prometheus?
Poseidon.
Yeah.
Prometheus is fire.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I gotta catch up on my Greek mythology. It's been a while since I studied up on that.
It's pretty much Greek mythology is just Zeus getting horny, and then people tell him not to do it, and then he just does it anyway.
And he fucks people as animals too, so it's weird as fuck.
Yeah,
he's like, hey girl.
Yeah. So somehow it goes to Judaism to Greek mythology. Somehow there's some connection there, I guess. I don't know what came out first. To be honest.
But the funny thing is, with like back to the Snyder Cut and all that stuff with the war, I keep seeing these.
We're supposed to be talking about Booster's Gold.
No, I'm sorry. I see this meme because you're talking about like this evolving shit. I saw memes like that's the battle of like everybody versus the freaking dark side, and it's like, all right, a couple years later, a couple thousand years later, everybody evolved into more tech. Atlanteans, new robotic suits. Humans, cyborg suits. Amazonians still have bows and arrows.
Yeah.
They haven't done anything.
Yeah. Well, it depends on who's directing those films.
That's true.
True. Depending on who's the director. Like Patty Jenkins, their armor's okay, but when it's Zack Snyder, it's not so good.
Yeah.
That keeps popping up for me. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. Well, I think of the thing you could like kind of write around those is like the Amazons are more isolated than those other countries and continents. And Atlanteans. They kind of
technically the islands and
technically they're like a bridge between humans and Atlantis with Aquaman. They're more of the bridge of two peoples, like they say in Man of Steel, than Superman is. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, the Amazons are more isolated on a secluded island, so they haven't really progressed in technology. So, I think I give that a pass. There's some islands that exist today on Earth now that there's tribesmen are still in the Stone Age, basically. And it's crazy. It's crazy that they even exist. It doesn't even seem like real life. So, I think that's totally plausible. It's totally plausible.
Yeah.
I forget where the island is. There's like some island you can't even go to.
I believe it's off of Sri Lanka.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. And like if you go there, like they would just straight up murder you. Yeah, just straight up. It's really crazy. I'd like to do more research on that island. But yeah, it's nuts. But no, I think that's the Amazons get a pass with that.
They get a pass.
So what did you guys think of Booster's goal? I guess we'll start with you, Matt. I know you've seen a couple other Justice League action episodes before. I'm pretty sure. So I want to see your thoughts. Why are you frozen? Why aren't you moving? Can you say something?
I'm sorry. I thought when you said my name, you glitched. So I'm like, is he talking to me or Robbie?
There's only one Matt. So.
Well, I heard it. I heard this. How about you?
All right, Matt, just answer.
And that was it. That's all I heard.
Don't swallow that. Just answer the question.
Okay, so I really like this one, and it was pretty freaking hilarious. And it's just, I love how it's just like it starts off. It's just Green Arrow is flying his plane. He's like, "Oh, I'm going back to my island, take a little vacation, have fun, just get back to the roots." Batman's like, "Yo, Booster Gold has been missing for a few days. Like, can you go find him? Like, he's in your location where you're going." He's like, okay." Then he flies in and he gets attacked by a freaking pterodactyl thing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But he's amazed by it. He's like, "Oh my god, the last living like fossil. Oh my god."
Yeah, he's
I want to follow that thing too.
And then it crashes into the windshield.
It crashes into the plane. He's like, "Get out of here, you chicken!"
Yeah. Disgusting chicken. Yeah, it's like a total switch of juxtaposition right there. He's just like, that's terrible.
I love when Booster and Green Arrow are in the freaking lake, and they like, all right, let's get the shore, and there's the 4 raptors just looking at them. These guys are really mean. This is why I kicked them out of Booster World. Let's go. And they swim out the deeper waters. And I'm like, what the fuck? Well, that's funny because in Jurassic Park there's 4 I believe 4 raptors that are horrible.
Yeah, I'm not sure in the first movie. I
mean,
at
3.
least
There's 3
in World, right?
Jurassic World raptors.
No, 4 raptors in the world. In Jurassic Park there's 3.
I don't know, and in the first one they kind of all mesh into the same. There's just a few. They don't really distinguish their characters.
Clever Girl.
Yeah, that's their name. That's their name. That's the most character development we get out of the raptors, which we don't need character development out of a raptor because they're fucking animals, and it doesn't matter. They don't need to be called Blue and Scooby Doo and whatever Echo, and Jinkies. We don't need
Blue Delta Echo.
What's the other one? Charlie.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
You don't get it.
Yeah, Charlie. No, you're right, Charlie.
Yeah, there's a few callbacks to Jurassic Park where they like basically explain the plot. Like Booster's like, "Oh, I seen this movie and I had this idea to make a theme park and I wanted to, and I knew I couldn't use the DNA of these past animals, so I just went back in time and brought them to, this secluded island. Isn't it great?" And I love his cages are like these terrible fences that are like up to their ankles. It wouldn't even hold like a rabbit inside. It's just like he just took a bunch of 2x4s and like put one nail in it, and that's his enclosure. That's what it's amazing.
Or he just dug like a trench and just put wood there. He just dug a little trench and just put wood there.
I found it funny that the T-Rex found the time to like just hop over the fence without damaging it. He's like, oh.
It's funny that they like gave him that much time to like actually build these fences around them too. I guess they're like, "Oh well, we'll see what happens with this. We'll just wait here."
This thing is funny. What's he doing?
And then it finds out that he doesn't even feed these animals. So once Oliver Queen arrives at the island, they're fresh off the market. They're the first things that are going to get eaten off the island. And like you're saying, Matt, they he exiled the raptors because they're too mean for his, for his world. So he just like put them. He didn't even like remove them. He just like took them out of the enclosure, which is way worse. Now they have free reign. That's the complete opposite of what you want to do with the raptors in Jurassic Park.
He literally just kicked them out like Fred does to the freaking Sabretooth and freaking Flintstones intro. Yeah. Just throws them outside. And that's it. But they will come back in because there's no real fence to this freaking world. There's just an entry. There's an entrance.
The thing I like about these shows too, it's only 10 minutes long. It's just like a breeze to get through. Like if you have like 10 minutes like that you're trying to kill, these are great like to watch. It's not like the Snyder cut where it's fucking 4 hours long. Like you could just like whiz by through this, and like a lot happens in 10 minutes. You get a full out fleshed out storyline. They go time travel, you get dinosaurs, you get future dinosaurs who evolved into basically humans, and then you go kind of get like a Back to the Future moment where Booster Gold's like sees himself in the past, and it's like almost like Back to the Future 2 at that point. But that was great too.
I love at that point, freaking Green Arrow's like rethinking of what they're doing, and he's like, "We shouldn't do this. We should just let the dinosaurs be there forever. Let's not do that." Boots just blows up the freaking circuit breaker, and then he's just like,
doesn't listen.
He's just like, "What happened? What are we doing? What? Get everything good?"
Yeah, because the time, the stream of time, like caught up to him at that moment, so he doesn't even know.
Then he's just wondering why he's there.
That whole adventure didn't happen anymore. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I like blinking you miss it kind of moment, because I was like at the end where they went into the future when they had like all these flying ships. At first, I thought they were just like in a humanistic future where Booster Gold is from, and like if you like turn your head for a second, you miss that dinosaur, you completely miss like half of the story. So it's like a blink and you miss it kind of moment. So. Definitely, keep your eyes on the screen, because what's going on.
One thing about the dinosaur human like evolved form, it doesn't know how to speak English. It knows just like dinosaur roar still.
Yeah,
so it's like their like language. So it's just like funny as hell just seeing it scream. And runs away.
It's like it turns into that Jim Henson's dinosaur show, basically.
Yeah.
Like
God.
Including that Odie cop cars too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this
so like Back to the Future meets that.
Yeah, this was like it was like Back to the Future with the flying police cars. It was like a mix of like 3 different movies, like Jurassic Park, obviously. Planet of the Apes, with the apes evolving, into basically humans. Instead, it's dinosaurs, and Back to the Future, obviously, with the time travel. So it was like a mix of 3 of my favorite franchises. So that's why I loved it. I was like, this is fucking awesome.
What about that one movie that we watched that was terrible? Land That Time Forgot.
Oh, we should do that. No, we should do that in the future. That would be definitely something. We have to. Man, this is this awful show. Oh, was it the show or? I'm thinking of Dinosapia. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh god.
That would be
Dinosapia.
Yeah, it's some terrible kids show. Wait, what's the Land That Time Forgot? What is that one? Is that like Land of the Lost ripoff, basically?
It's similar. They go to like they're in a boat and they go into the ocean, and either they wake up or they see something that transports them to this like island. Yeah. And like there's I don't know what the hell they're doing there. They don't know.
What about Dinotopia, guys?
Dinosapia, I think that's worth more watching because I still remember
Dinosapia.
Dinosapia.
Oh, you mean Dinotopia?
I don't fucking know.
It's Dinotopia.
The dinosaur talks in it. All right.
What's it with the freaking little guy that like the little guy with the long neck? And he's just like he talks and he does like he reads all the books for everybody.
Maybe I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
He's like a scribe at the same time. That's Dinotopia, man.
I don't know. Wasn't it called Dinosapia, Robbie?
No, Dinotopia.
No, I don't know. Fuck, I think it was a different show.
Yeah, because Dinosapia wasn't like current.
He didn't
time.
like deliberately talk. He like screeched and it looked fucking
Yeah,
gross.
that's why I did the.
Because of what I'm.
Yeah, it might have been Dinotopia.
I don't know.
Because Dinotopia actually had dinosaurs that talked and everything, but they like live with society of humans.
All I remember is that I'm pretty sure it's Dinosapia, and then they fed some. They fed some dinosaurs some dynamite, and they blew up.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
We have to watch this. This is definitely a future episode. We have to do it.
It was just like chewing on some sticks of dynamite.
It was so stupid. They like dynamite, and they're two herbivores too. And they're like in the camp, and then they like pick up the dynamite, and they just like kill themselves. They commit suicide. It was like those armored dinosaurs. I forget what they're called. Like the Ankylosaurus. Yeah, that. Yeah, exactly. It was like two of them, and they just kill themselves. But that's definitely a future episode.
Yes.
We have to go.
You hurt me. I feel hurt.
It's really stupid. Whatever. Yeah. Oh. So, do you guys have any final words on Booster's Gold Justice League action?
Make sure your fence is properly installed by a certified person.
Please, while you're watching
with the time jump. Is that what you're talking about?
No, the fences for the dinosaurs.
The fences. Oh, right. I was thinking of the point where he's like, what Booster Gold's explaining how a suit works. Like if he's in immediate danger, like in a death-defying, experience, he goes back in time, and he's like trying to explain the Green Arrow, like he installed it, and he admits like, no, I didn't do it. It just came.
It comes with the suit.
Yeah. But I would highly recommend this episode. I thought it was one of the best episodes I've seen of the show. I haven't seen all of them, but I would probably give it like an 8 or 9. I enjoyed it that much. It's a breeze to get through. It's like only 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't waste any time. So Matt, any final thoughts on Booster's Gold?
If you have a short attention span that's about 10 minutes. Please do not start a movie and have good ideas before you end it. Because if the movie ends tragically, you don't want that to happen to your good idea of the movie.
What the hell are you talking about? I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Booster watched the movie for 10 minutes. He said in the future, we have 10-minute attention spans.
All right. Now I understand.
So don't start something an idea for a movie with 10 minutes in. Pay attention to your
watch
shorts.
The whole movie.
Damn it!
See the ending, see how the movie ends before you go on.
Not during that future where Booster comes from. You got 10 minutes. You got 10 minutes.
I thought you were talking about yourself at first. And I was like,
I'm not talking to myself. Booster literally says it. In the future, we only have 10-minute attention spans. That's literally it. If it doesn't really catch your eye, we just go, whoop.
It makes sense. It's our attention spans are going down and down as the years go by. So as generations go by, so it might happen. You never know. It might be Idiocracy by 2025. That's only 4 years.
They wouldn't let me watch. Oh my balls.
That's our future, man. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, Robbie, I have one question for you.
Okay.
Okay, since you're a scientist, right? What is the likelihood?
Sure.
What is the likelihood? Say, if, like, dinosaurs continued evolving, and like humans and mammals didn't take over the planet. What is the likelihood of dinosaurs evolving into sentient human-like creatures in the future? Like, is that possible? Is that realistic? Is that a possibility?
It would.
This is a Super Mario Brothers show.
I'm not a scientist.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
an engineer.
Same thing.
It would probably take a long time to do. A lot of the environmental conditions would need to be fitted just for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like depending on like oxygen levels and if there are food supplies everywhere, and basic survival stuff.
If they can just continue doing what they're doing, basically.
Yeah, maybe it can get kind of weird. when it comes to evolution, because we evolve from the primates and whatnot, and brains are kind of set up to be ever progressing and whatnot. We don't know if that's the case for dinosaurs, but it's a possibility.
Their brains were like the size of walnuts. Is there any dinosaur? I don't know. You guys would know. Is there any dinosaur that had like a bigger sized brain? Maybe like a raptor. That's like the walnut.
Not
like a evolving brain. Yeah, I don't. I never heard of a dinosaur with a big brain. So, yeah.
You can't really classify on a dinosaur too, because there's like multiple different stages of prehistoric life.
Birds still exist. They're dinosaurs technically.
Chickens.
Yeah, chickens are dinosaurs. It's crazy. When I eat a chicken wing, you could see the claw on the chicken wing still, like basically like a echo of its past. So you could still see like the raptor claw like poking out of the side of the wing. And I think that's I'm like, holy shit, this thing can kill me. 65 million years ago.
I would stay away from an ostrich. That's the closest thing really to a dinosaur.
I think the closest thing to a dinosaur is a cassowary from the islands of Indonesia. That thing is a straight up dinosaur. That thing is crazy looking. Have you seen that? You know what?
Can you bring it up?
I'm gonna find it. Robbie knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's in that game. What's that game?
Yeah.
That island game.
Name that game.
That island game. Primal.
Ark?
No, not what is it called? You know what I'm talking about.
It's not Ark Survival.
That's what I'm thinking. Ark.
No, not Ark. The
one when you like progress from.
You're like on an island. You're like on an island.
No, that's Ark. Ark, you're on an island.
No, not Ark. Not Ark. It's like a well-known one.
Oh, like Far Cry Primal.
Yeah, Far Cry. Yeah, not Primal.
Yeah,
but Far Cry. Yes. Thank you, Robbie. I just remember Primal, and that's not even the right game, but it's the same franchise. So someone knew what I was talking about. All right, I'm going to show this on my screen. Let me know. You're gonna see us for a second, just because I have to click. Okay, you see this thing?
Oh, that thing.
See that? Look at this.
Yeah, they're kind of fucked up.
Those are the most dangerous birds I could think of on our planet right now, because like they literally are so territorial. They'll just gut you right in the stomach. They'll just like slice you up. They're really crazy. You just see their foot. I'm gonna type in their foot too. It's straight up a dinosaur foot. It's crazy. Look at this thing. Look at that. Look at that. What the fuck is that?
Okay,
that's a raptor. Holy shit! Imagine that claw right there, gutting you. Holy shit! That's a fucking raptor.
Okay, Dr. Grant, calm down.
They don't even need. We don't even need special effects. Just film close-ups of real animals, and I'd be so more impressed about that than if they use CGI, because they'd be using real things. It's crazy.
Crocodiles are very old.
Crocodiles are as old as dinosaurs, if not older, right? They kind of like branched off
older, but
at the same
they're up there.
Yeah, I know they had like the same common ancestor, and then they branched off. I know we're like going off in evolution, but that's what happens when you talk about dinosaurs and ancient creatures and monsters. So I wanted to ask these questions because I'm pretty fascinated with the subject. So I wanted to ask the scientist, Dr. Foster, to answer
also like their entire like skeletal and muscular system need to change to be able to like do the same motions that a human would do.
Yeah. Well, they're starting to be bipedal, kind of, with raptor-like creatures. They're bipedal, so
they're bipedal, but there's some ranges of motions that
they're not going to be able to throw or anything. Yeah, that's true. It's a very interesting subject. Evolution, you could just make whatever the fuck you want, I guess. I don't know. It's great. Sure. Well, so Matt, with that, do you want to discuss the main topic of this podcast?
Am I ever ready? No.
Well, you're ready now.
Well, let's talk about this movie. So this movie literally came out yesterday, 31st
Oh yeah, it was
of
yesterday.
March.
Holy shit!
It was yesterday.
This is like we're current right now, guys. We're current. We're on it.
Yes, we are.
Holy shit!
A cutting edge of entertainment.
Exactly.
Okay, so this movie that we're going to be discussing now is Godzilla versus King Kong. Well, Godzilla versus Kong. But there is a movie back in 1962. Me and Josh did a review a few weeks back. King Kong versus Godzilla. And it's two different movies. But
there's a few callbacks I enjoyed.
There's some callbacks. There's some callbacks to it that make some of the things canon. That made me really fucking happy and laugh a lot. But this movie basically is talking about how Kong is in his little, on Skull Island doing his thing, but Monarch has captured Skull Island and made a giant structure that displays natural sky, trying to manipulate Kong's brain, thinking he's still in a peaceful environment of this island.
Basically, they build a super dome over King Kong. That's what they
do.
Yeah, it's a Truman Show with King Kong. Meanwhile, I want to see that movie.
Oh, God. So, meanwhile, other scientists are trying to figure out how to produce this kind of like energy style that is able to fight back against the Titan-style creatures, and Godzilla is detecting all this kind of like issues, so he's trying to stop these scientists that are like basically like disturbing natural nature itself. So Godzilla's trying to correct it by destroying everything that they have by sensing it, and it just looks like it's basically giving Godzilla more of a bad rep than what Godzilla has earned in the previous two movies. And people are looking at that bad, and they think, oh, the best solution is to take this giant ape from his captive island and fight Godzilla with it. But the real plot really with Kong is they have the power source that they want to find as in this other upside down world that Kong knows how to get to. So they use Kong to go down to this little area, but the way of transporting Godzilla ruins transport and wrecks King Kong in the open waters of the ocean. And finally get Kong into somehow in some snowy Alps location. And
Antarctica.
Kong finds his... What?
Antarctica.
And okay, thank you. So they end up having him track down to where he's supposed to go, and they end up finding this portal that sucks him into this other world. Meanwhile, Godzilla is on the loose, still trying to stop what's ever happening in our world and destroying everything. But it senses what's happening to Kong in this upside down world, and Godzilla just ends up wrecking a whole freaking city and blasting a nuclear breath through the freaking world, Earth's crust into where Kong is in this upside down universe of the Earth, and makes a straight freaking path so they can have an epic battle scene. And we end up having this awesome battle between two titans that we enjoy. Still, well, how is King Kong still as tall as a skyscraper? We'll never know.
Well, they said that he's still growing.
Yeah.
That was in the old 70s one, too. In the Kong Island.
Yeah, that was from Skull Island.
Yeah,
but I guess he matured to a state where he is that size.
Fine, big enough.
Yeah, that took place in the 70s, so that was like decades after.
Yeah. But like King Kong starts off as a creature that is about 25 foot, 30 foot tall ape.
Well, yeah, that's in a totally different context. Obviously, they have to make King Kong the same size as Godzilla. If they did the original size of King Kong would be able to fit in the palm of Godzilla's hand. So it wouldn't really make sense. Originally, he's like 25 feet tall. So in this incarnation, he's like the size of a skyscraper. Unless you shrink down Godzilla to King Kong size, and then it will be like the T-Rex versus the King Kong. Right? I mean, I think it's more exciting if you make King Kong bigger, then Godzilla's smaller. So I think that's why they did that.
And at the end, they do have to fight a mechanical beast that they have to both team up to destroy.
Yeah, there's spoilers all the way. By the way, I mean, you guys should know that by this point. You know.
Yeah, they kind of spoiled the hell out of this guy.
Yeah.
So you want to start from the very beginning?
Yeah, let's go back.
Wherever you guys want to
go. Okay. I mean, the beginning of the film, they're just essentially monitoring Kong and his island.
Yeah.
I think it was good that they already introduced that he's capable of using weapons. Because that kind of helps. Because like during you see in the trailers that he has an axe, and it's like, all right, so this guy learned to use weaponry, but
he's kind of evolving into the Stone Age, basically, or the Stick Age.
Right, and so that's good to show. And what kind of drew my attention was the fact that they have to keep him contained, otherwise Godzilla will come for him.
Yeah, Godzilla will find him. There'll be 2 alphas, so
yeah, I was like, okay, I guess Godzilla has to name to fame and be the king of all monsters.
King of all monsters. Even though King Kong is the king of Kongs, he's Donkey Kong's dad. He's king of Donkey Kong.
Sorry, I heard you wrong on that one. I heard you so wrong on that one. Oh my god,
Matt. Well, you should clean your ears out because that's
I should. Because I heard a D instead of a K.
Well, I'm talking about Donkey Kong.
You're watching the wrong video, Matt.
Yeah.
I looks like I watched it. I thought I downloaded the right movie.
I gotta say, I did it. Yeah, I did enjoy the little sanctuary he had in the beginning. I just kind of wish they dove a little bit more into the psychosis of Kong, like how he had that connection with the little girl, kind of like the starting of that. But
they end up doing that later.
Yeah, they can communicate through sign language, and they do reveal that.
Well, no, the main lady that's monitoring him actually tells
that's her name.
Other gentleman
main lady monitoring him.
What?
That's her official name in the movie. Main lady who's monitoring him.
Who gives a fuck? All right. Who cares?
Eileen Andrews is her name. Okay, man.
All right, cool. Whatever.
I know.
I'm there for the monsters. No one cares about the freaking humans. So, whatever. So, she ends up breaking that down somewhere in the middle of where the connection of the little girl and Kong came from. Because supposedly she is one of the last natives from that island. Because supposedly that island got overwhelmed by the tropical storm and other creatures that end up destroying the native villages on that island. So she was the last one. Kong saved her. They discuss that later. Did you pay attention?
Yeah, no, I just found out news about the girl who played Gia, the little girl of Kong, the little girl who lives on Skull Island who communicates with Kong, is actually deaf in real life. I actually find that pretty interesting.
Oh,
that's a good. That's neat.
So they used the authentic. She was actually a deaf person. So she, with all the communication she was doing in American Sign Language was actually authentic. I thought she was my favorite human character out of the whole movie. I liked her connection with Kong. It seemed like it was more like little, it was like a little girl, almost like a sibling connection. I do enjoy that, how they diverted off from the original blonde haired damsel in distress kind of, there's sexual tension. And this, it's just, they're just kind of like siblings and they treat each other as equals. And I did appreciate that. It just kind of made them on a sequel, on an equal playing field. And I feel like there was almost a callback to E.T. where King Kong takes out his finger. It's just he's pointing at Gia.
Josh, touch my
yeah, he's basically doing that. And Gia like takes her whole hand and grabs around his finger because he has a giant finger. I like that. There's like a little callbacks to that and like to the previous King Kong Godzilla installment, which I did enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty fun. Well,
yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
I don't know. When I was watching the trailers, I didn't really like care for the little girl at first because like why does Kong need this person? Blah blah. But they made more sense with her down the line.
See, that's why trailers ruin movies. Just don't watch the trailer. Just watch the movie.
Like it just makes it like it makes me feel like why do they need this person? Well, there's no need for this person. Just get rid of that person, delete it.
Well, that's the whole human connection. You know, without that,
I understand,
there's no heart or humanity to the picture at all.
I understand, but like it just like to me, I'm so used to this monster.
Are you complaining? Okay, so now are you complaining about the trailer, or are you complaining about the movie? I don't know which one you're.
No, I'm not. I was not. I'm not even. You're making me seem like I'm complaining, but I'm not. I was just saying. I'm just saying I wasn't liking the little girl in the trailers until later on. I finally watched the movie, understand where they were going with it.
Right.
I was like enjoying it later on. I was like, okay, there's actually a reason why she's here, other than let's just give this ape a little girl. And like I was like, all right, they actually gave something good to this.
It's like the original connection with the human female and an original King Kong. So there, you got to have something, which I did enjoy, and they made like Kong more of the hero out of the two. Godzilla is like kind of more of the villain throughout the film, and like if I was going to compare this to Batman vs Superman, this worked a lot more than that movie because I was actually rooting for the hero, which was Kong, and I was rooting for both of them, but like the whole movie, I was more sympathetic to King Kong the whole time through Batman vs Superman. I thought they were both hypocritical assholes, and I wanted both of them to lose because I didn't like either character. And there's no dialogue between the main characters, Kong or Godzilla, and I sympathize with them more than I did actual human speaking characters because they had more going for them than fucking Superman or Batman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they really painted Godzilla as the villain. Which is different point because in reality, in this universe, he is just the keeper of balance,
right?
And that's just what he's doing.
But in this movie, they literally when they are showing him destroying things, we see what he's doing. He's destroying all these scientific bases because he believes that there's something not good here.
Mm-hmm.
Perspective in the people in that movie isn't seen that because they don't know there's a government base underneath these factories. So Godzilla just looks like an asshole destroying like warehousing and like cities and shit and all that crap. So he just makes it look like he's just evil throughout all. But that makes it even kind of closer to the original because in the original movie which came out in 1962, Godzilla was the villain.
Yeah, he was the villain.
Godzilla was wreaking havoc over all these cities and towns in Japan. So they needed Kong to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in this way, they kind of like, okay, we're going to keep that going, it looks like. But I kind of liked how they brought Godzilla back to that era of him being destructive and hell-raising because we never seen him that way yet because they painted a hero face on him in the last two movies. Yeah. We never saw a destructive Godzilla.
Godzilla has always been kind of like an anti-hero. Like he kind of goes back and forth. He's either the destructor or the savior. That's how Godzilla rolls. I think he plays better as a villain than a hero. He's a giant fucking lizard.
Well, that's how he started off in 1954.
Yeah, exactly.
1954, he was the main villain. Then they came out with the second Godzilla movie. He was the villain in that one. Then they came out with I believe there was maybe one more, or went straight to King Godzilla versus King Kong. King Kong versus Godzilla, and he was still the villain. Then after that era, they ended up making him. I think it was in the 70s. They just made him more of a hero.
Yeah, that's when they just had fun with
thing.
it.
More kid friendly. The guy in a ragdoll outfit.
Yeah, he looked like Cookie Monster at one point. He looked
yes, he did.
like
yeah,
Cookie Monster. I'm gonna find a Cookie
yes,
Monster
he did.
Godzilla image. Yeah. So you guys keep talking.
Okay, where do you want to go next, Bobby?
So the first Godzilla attack was in Florida. And I was like, yeah, that's okay. It's Florida, no big deal.
Yeah,
there's nothing good down there.
I was like, yeah, it's Florida. It'll be okay.
They've seen worse.
Yeah, but I don't know if I was like a civilian around there, and you just see Godzilla just attack one plant, I'd be more inclined to believe that, like, all right, so there's got to be something going on.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's just side by side with Godzilla and Cookie Monster. This is what he officially looks like in the movies.
Yeah. With the girl
that's Shin Godzilla. Okay, that's Shin Godzilla. Good one.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. So.
I haven't seen that one. I can't bear myself to that one.
Yeah.
Can't watch that one.
Oh, you don't worry. We'll watch.
Continue,
I'll be the next movie. Yeah, go ahead.
So, first of all, like when he's attacking the base, we were getting involved with the characters for me. And the crazy guy that does all the
Alex Jones character, basically.
Yeah. He's like that, but like better.
Yeah. I would more listen to his podcast if he was real than Alex Jones.
Yeah. And like as he's like talking to that one guy at the desk with the computer, I was like, "There's no way."
In the beginning, yeah.
I was like, "There's no way that dude would just leave his laptop open like that. He'd lock it down."
Yeah, definitely.
And like him going like all these places, there'd be security out the ass.
Yeah, this universe definitely doesn't take itself too seriously, and I enjoyed that. Like obviously this isn't trying to be Citizen Kane. It's not trying to be the best film of all time. It's just two iconic monsters fighting each other, and it was exactly what I needed it to be. And I actually really appreciated what it was. It wasn't like a Transformers fuck fest where you don't know what's going on and the camera's over here and I'm gonna barf. Like I knew it was happening. The characters were structured. I understood the motivations. They're trying to be king of all monsters. They're trying to be the alpha male. Meanwhile, Mecha Godzilla is being created because the humankind is trying to take over the realm. Like be the alpha, where it could only be.
There it is.
Yeah, it could only be one, and it's not the humankind. Which is nice. It's kind of nice to put yourself in that third perspective and see from afar. Well, so it was actually everything I needed it to be. I thought it was a lot better than I expected it to be. I don't know how you guys feel.
No, but I liked about this plot. Didn't feel like the last two. The last two were taking themselves too serious.
Yeah, I agree.
With this one, it felt more Toho in a way. But it's not 100% Toho. It was on like we're trying to make it seem like the humans don't matter. The humans don't matter. It's all about the monsters. They did pretty good with that with this one.
I agree.
The humans really factored not that much.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had it's like how Toho they wanted to find the new weapon.
Yeah, they were like the B characters throughout the film. They progressed Godzilla's story and King Kong's story. They're like building them up instead of like it's King Kong or Godzilla, and then you cut to just these human characters, and then the story's about them. And then intercut with Godzilla in between scenes. It felt like they were building off their Godzilla scenes, and it was actually. Eventually, like all the storylines kind of joined together, and it was a lot more interesting that way.
Yeah, the humans are just there, kind of just tell the story a little bit, not because King Kong and Godzilla can't speak for themselves.
Yeah, they're not going to talk. Yeah. or have an inner monologue.
Well, there is that one Godzilla movie where they could talk. Okay.
We don't speak that one.
Revolted.
Why not? That's one of Josh's favorite
Cookie
ones.
Monster one?
What?
The Cookie Monster one?
Yeah, he looks like that in that one too. Yeah.
Oh my god.
No thanks.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. That's not the lobster one because he doesn't talk in that one.
No, that's not that one. It's when the little boy,
the little kid Godzilla.
The little boy goes dreams of going to Monster Island and has baby Godzilla.
Yeah, actually, that one's so bad that it's good. Yeah, that one's. I recommend that one. It's so terrible that it's awesome. I do recommend it. So, okay, I wanted to go into since we have Professor Foster on screen again. Yeah, I wanted to ask you, what is the probability that the Earth is hollow and it's filled with dinosaur-like bat creatures? Is that plausible? Is that real?
No.
What's more plausible, that the hollow Earth theory, or
I swear to God, if you say flat Earth, I choose none of the above.
That's fair. I just wanted to bring that up because Kong goes to the hollow Earth eventually. Why does he go there, Matt? Do you remember?
There's a power source that supposedly lies inside that portal, and only Kong supposedly, Titan will find it.
Only Titans have the ability to go back there because it's kind of like the sense of homing pigeon that they just naturally know where to go.
Right. All right.
So
they do explain.
They're not going to use Godzilla.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the Godzilla is destroying everything.
They can't control Godzilla as easily as Kong.
And that's where the little girl comes into play.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was my favorite character. Human character, obviously. Yeah. I was rooting for Kong the whole time because he was the hero of the film, and then eventually they do join forces and fight Mecha Godzilla. I didn't really enjoy how that New Zealand kid named Mecha Godzilla, like the Alex Jones character.
Oh, Fire Fist.
Yeah, he's from Deadpool.
From Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Tool. Deadpool Tool.
He's a tool. He is a tool.
No, but
Dead Tool.
Dead Tool. But I didn't like how he named Mechagodzilla, like the Alex Jones guy was like, oh, it's Robo Godzilla. Like, why would he go no, it's Mechagodzilla? Like, why would he know what it's called? Why would he get the opportunity to name Mechagodzilla? I
kind of wish the guy that built it or ran the production of it
should have revealed what it was called.
Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, he should have.
And it just rises up. Evil laugh.
Why does the New Zealand fire tool get to name Mechagodzilla? I didn't understand that.
I don't know, I think
it had to give to somebody.
If it was like Bernie was saying it's a robotic replica of Godzilla, and he's like, it's Mechagodzilla. That made a little bit more of a better flow.
Yeah. If it was reversed. Yeah. The kid said. Yeah, I think you're right. If the kid said Robo Godzilla because he's, not as aware as Bernie because he's doing more research, that would make sense. Yeah, yes. I do agree with that.
But it should have been the pilot of the just kind of say it.
He kind of dies. I didn't understand. So, okay, I have a question for both of you. If either of you can answer this. So the guy Bernie, right? Bernie Jones.
Oh my God.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders. Bernie Jones Sanders. When they find him, I didn't really understand what was going on. Like Millie Bobby Brown, 11, and Fire Tool, they find him because he drinks bleach or something. I didn't understand how they found him.
No, he doesn't drink bleach.
I know, he pours it on his head. Bleach. I didn't understand that. Why? What was that? What was that? Just
supposedly, what was it?
So the reason why he showers in bleach is because it prevents the government from doing organic trapping.
Okay.
Yeah, supposedly the stuff
Okay,
inside
so
the
Don't
water.
shower in bleach. Do not do that.
No,
Please.
don't.
What if they get like parents complaining that their kids are like bathing in bleach after they watch this film? I wouldn't put it past people because they even brought up the Tide Pod craze, which I kind of like how there's a satire in that. You know, they're like poking fun at what other stupid teenage challenges. I don't even understand that craze, but you know, I don't think I will. I don't think I ever will, and I don't think the people who did it understand it. They died. They don't know. So
just don't shower in bleach.
Yeah. Well, if you want to get a double whammy, you could shower in bleach and eat Tide Pods at the same time. So it's like you're washing your mouth too.
We do not condone this. We do not condone this at all.
No.
Somewhere you're going, Josh.
It was a joke.
Leave it alone.
This is a joke. It was satire. We are South Park characters. Don't take this for reality.
Don't eat Tide Pods. Don't shower in bleach.
But eat Thai
food. Yes. Eat Thai.
Pretty good, guys. Pretty good.
The other thing that I thought was kind of funny was like they're talking about fluoride in the water.
Oh, right.
Tap or no tap. Like,
yes.
I think it's
and they're talking about
any water.
Fluoride like calms people and it makes them more susceptible to like persuasion. I was like,
yeah, there's a lot of conspiracies.
It's supposed to be like a crazy conspiracy theory.
But if I was a kid, he's kind of looked at as a hero and he's right the whole time. So like all the things that he's saying, I'll go like, oh, he's right. There is, this is going on. I gotta.
Yeah, that's a lot of bad information.
Yeah, so it's like she's showcased as the hero in no. So do your own research, kids. Don't believe everything you hear from anyone.
My favorite quote is, believe everything you see on the internet by one of the best presidents, Abraham Lincoln.
What? Was that in the movie?
No.
No, he's being an ass.
I'm just.
He's being an ass.
I thought that was like. I thought that was like in the background of Bernie Jones Sanders' computer screen or something.
It should be. Don't believe everything you hear on the internet. Abraham Lincoln.
So I wanted to go back to like the Kong Sanctuary. Like I said, I was hoping they kind of dove into that more because there's so many decades like in between films. Like we had Kong Skull Island, that was literally in the 70s, or what was it, late 60s when the Vietnam War was happening. So there's so many decades that kind of happened in between that. I would like to see like that, like, I would like to know what happened in between those stages. There's so many, in that time period. But, I do enjoy what they did with this movie. I don't think it's really necessary. It's just something I want to know more about, which is great because, leaves the audience wanting more, and I think that's what this movie did. It made me want more. It made me want to understand, like, the implications of Kong and Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. And it was fucking under 2 hours. It was such a breeze to get through. I loved how it was under 2 hours. No movie anymore is under 2 hours. Why? Like, please, keep making these movies short. We don't want them to be 4 hour long fucking bloated movies. We don't I would much rather watch this twice over the Snyder Cut. I enjoyed it more than the Snyder Cut. I liked the Snyder Cut. It was fine. The epilogue was pointless. Just end it when they're the Justice League and they're standing there. Don't even watch the epilogue because it's stupid and you don't even need to see it. It does. They don't.
How do you really feel?
This is Godzilla versus King Kong, not Justice League.
Yeah. And we
did that 2 weeks ago.
And I was like thinking, fuck it. DC owns King Kong, Godzilla. I mean, what am I saying? Warner Brothers own King Kong and Godzilla. They own DC. Just fucking throw Superman in there. Fuck it. At this point, just throw in everything. They don't know what the fuck they're doing anymore. they're like, might as well combine these two universes when they run out of ideas, because they obviously clearly had. And you know, and I want to see Superman fight Godzilla or King Kong, because he kind of started out fighting like giant monsters and giant gorillas, and that's totally in Superman's realm. So like, fuck it at this point. I think that would be an awesome movie. I would enjoy that much more than fucking Man of Steel. Man of Steel. Man of Steel is fine. I like Man of Steel more than most of the DC movies, but still, if you want all this destruction in a Superman film, just add a giant monster in it, okay? And then you could get away with it, because that's what people want to see when there's giant monsters. When your main character is supposed to be the hero, we don't want to see that main character destroy half of Metropolis or half of the city. We don't want that, because we're supposed to root for this person. These are giant monsters. They're like animals. So it's like, oh, well, they accidentally stepped on the Empire State Building. They didn't mean it. Yeah. Then like, I like how the reactions of the human characters, this is just like the everyday to them. They're like, oh yeah, half the city of wherever, Tampa, Florida, wherever the fuck they were, it blew up. I don't care. That's a shithole. Like, I don't care. It's fine. Or wherever they were. They were in Pennsylvania at one point. There's a lot of locations in this film. I got a little lost with that, but like, it doesn't really matter. At the end, they fight in Tokyo. I think it's Tokyo. I hope it is.
Hong Kong.
Oh, fuck. Well, I thought it was Tokyo because that's where, King Kong, not King Kong, fucking Godzilla was from. So I just assumed it was Tokyo. But they did say Hong Kong. I watched it in parts. I watched half and half. So whatever. I was just filling in the gaps. I'm like, Godzilla isn't from Tokyo, so that's where they are. But okay, that makes more sense.
What did you think of the? Let's dive into the action now.
Okay.
How about the first fight on the battleship?
Oh, the battleship.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Kong should have been just royally screwed. Like, I mean, he kind of was.
He should have been dead.
Yeah, he definitely should have died. I was like curious. I'm like, so are these Titans so big that it could stand on the ocean floor, or are they just be able to sink? And it answered that question for me. They'll actually be able to sink down in the depths of the ocean, which I did appreciate. It would have been pretty stupid.
Well, I mean, they established that in other movies because of those swimming sequences. So
yeah,
Godzilla can properly swim underwater.
That's true. Yeah, Godzilla totally would have wrecked King Kong if they, didn't.
Well, he was.
Well, he didn't die. Then that would have been that movie.
Yeah, it
would have been. It was like a callback to the 1962 film where they had King Kong on the ship, strapped up. They did the same thing, and they did the same thing later on after that fight where he's strapped up like a marionette, like flying across Antarctica. But in this, it was like a giant net, and it looked more plausible than freaking him like a freaking toy puppet. It looked
right.
more natural. But yeah, that fight scene was awesome. All the fight scenes are the highlights of this film for sure. And I think, that we dwelled on the story actually makes the movie, it's actually a positive to the movie because we're actually interested in the story. Because if there's no story, we would have just been talking about the action scenes the whole time. So I think that's a big plus for this film, and I think I really enjoyed it. Matt, what did you think of the fight sequences, especially? Well, we'll talk about the first one.
I like all the fight sequences. They didn't look horrible. Like it went. Wow, it worked great in both ends. Like both. Thanks. Both freaking both monsters' sides. Either way, they all had their ups and downs. Like in the boat one, that's Godzilla's territory. It's water.
Yeah.
King Kong's an ape. Apes not well known for swimming.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a downside for King Kong. But there's a part when Godzilla's like they're wrecking boats, and there's one half of the boat that has an anchor dropped, and the snags on the Godzilla. And Godzilla ends up noticing this and just uses that basically as a weapon in the midst of trying to destroy and fight King Kong. He's just wrecking more boats with it. That was pretty neat seeing that. I don't think he meant it, but it ended up happening.
Yeah. I felt bad for Kong during that scene.
Yeah,
He was chained up, and I was like, oh, he has.
Well, yeah, he's
no
mostly
fighting chance. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that the one chick that was added to it is the main, the guy that makes Godzilla, does the production of Mecha Godzilla.
Mhm.
His daughter ends up going on their little adventure, and she's just really kill the freaking thing, let the thing go. We need to get this thing out of here. We're upside down and shit down on the boat. Like who gives a fuck about this ape?
It was just kind of dumb because, like, the whole reason they got Kong out of his enclosure was for him to go into the Hollow Earth to find the power source.
Yeah.
So she wanted to give up.
She just got rid of, like, she's basically saying,
yeah, I was thinking the whole
gave up
time
the key.
when, like, they had him on the ship. Obviously, they know, like, the ocean is a natural territory for Godzilla. So why would you put Kong on a ship? Just start him off flying. Obviously, there wouldn't be a big fight sequence in the beginning. So, like, you got to take your liberties. But that was, like, my first thought. Like, have him in the sky. Why would you do that? Like, you're basically having him as a sitting duck at that point. So it's like open season.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's probably more effective to put him on a boat than to have, like, hundreds of helicopters
just
stuff
wasting a bunch of jet.
I loved. Okay, the funny thing is seeing Kong grabbing the planes and trying to throw them at King Godzilla, and it's funny how gentle he was with them. He wasn't like just grabbing them and crushing them. He was just like literally picking up lightly and just holding them and then chucking them.
Yeah.
Because like they take scenes when they're in the pilot's freaking like the pilot's bay and everything in the plane, and like you don't see it crushing, you don't see anything happening. It just feels like nothing's like he's just gentle with it, and just like then I'm gonna throw you like a paper airplane.
Yeah, he only does that. He only crushes one ship. It's when that girl from Baby Driver shoots him. She's like, shoot the gorilla, and then he just like he looks inside. He gets a close up, making sure his friend Gia is in there or the Jane Goodall woman, and he crushes them after he knows that his friends aren't in the plane. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed like how he's like he's meticulously making sure that he doesn't hurt his friends, and I enjoyed that. That was fun.
I didn't like when they were like punching each other on the ship themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kong gets the first hit and like just of course like Godzilla gets affected by it, but like then Godzilla throws a punch and it fucks Kong up. Like,
fucking flip.
I was like, oh shit.
With the claw.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the last, not the last fight, but like when they're fighting each other, it's like pretty equal. Rain when
pre-final battle.
Yeah, when it's actually Kong versus Godzilla. King Kong has the Thor axe, and it seems like it's equal level at that point. But once he loses the axe, it shows that Godzilla is really the king of all monsters. And if they were going to fight to the death, it shows that Godzilla really would have won that fight. But it's nice that he didn't. He just screamed in his face, and then he turned around and fought a robot.
Godzilla was like still on the hunt for something that's more dangerous. And he
found out it wasn't Godzilla
in the area. So Kong is basically down the ground, defenseless and just ruined.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just like, all right, fuck you, you're gonna die. So whatever, I'm gonna go see what the hell is going on over here. That I feel this disturbance and let's say their force.
Yeah, I found it interesting. I knew he was gonna kill Kong because he's by drowning him in the first scene, and then he just left him alone after he beat him.
Yeah. So I was thinking throughout that fight, I was like, the real life equivalent of that is obviously a silverback gorilla versus a Komodo dragon. I guess that would be like the most real life equivalent of that fight if you were going to see it in person. I don't think a Komodo dragon is really as big as a gorilla, but biggest lizard. Yeah.
I was gonna say like a crocodile or a crocodile. Or something.
Maybe a crocodile.
Because they're big, they can get to like 20 feet easily.
That's true. Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe that's the closest equivalent. Yeah, but maybe, probably more saltwater crocodile. But I think Yeah, I think a saltwater crocodile would totally destroy an actual gorilla. I don't think it'll be a fair chance at all. I mean, I guess it shows that Godzilla would ultimately win in the end anyway, so maybe it does represent it pretty well.
Mhm.
Okay, so how tall is the silverback gorilla usually is? Like, what's the average height for them?
Yeah,
Josh?
6 feet, maybe a little taller. I don't know.
Okay, so a male Komodo dragon gets up to 8.5 feet long. A female is a 7.5 feet long.
So that's pretty.
So
they're
that's pretty
similar.
even
I mean,
there. You're pretty dead point on it.
They do have, counting the tail, so that would add, extra 3 feet or whatever.
Yeah, so does Godzilla. Godzilla's like additional crap.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah.
So, including if you think about it, Komodo dragons' bites are the most worst bites to get because they're full of bacteria, and they end up having a venom in there too in their saliva. So they're kind of like screwed. So they bite.
Yeah,
you.
so that's the equivalent of atomic
Yeah.
breath right there.
Yeah. So yeah.
It says right here that a male lowland gorilla is 1.7 meters in length, which is 3 feet in almost like
It's a little bit less than
less than 6 feet.
6. Yeah.
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 So yeah,
And Godzilla is slightly a little bit taller. So, right in this movie.
Yeah, I guess so. So so somewhere between a Komodo dragon or a crocodile. I know that was like a complete 180, but yeah, I wanted to go through that. But yeah, go ahead, Matt. What was your point?
Wait, point? I had a point.
Yeah,
we're just talking about Komodo dragons.
What is your shit
about? Oh, I kind of want to jump into like when Kong is actually into the hollowed world Earth universe. How it just a different tone it gets, including how there's two parts of Earth. There's actually the sky is two different lands. So if you hit this certain height, like certain peak of one mountain or some area, you can flip to the other side and go there. Including like that's where we found this axe and like how does like Kong know to or who made these structures in this universe, like this world?
The Kong
that they have.
The Kong.
Like it's a little strange because they have a statue of a Kong, and then they have like engraved areas where you should put the axe to reload it.
I thought that was like a fossil of the previous Kong. That's what I thought it was.
It's like a statue. It's like a legit.
Like literally, like
I wouldn't say it was a
fossil or something.
No, there's a statue, like a stone statue in the background.
I know. Yeah, the giant hand was obviously a statue because it's way bigger than King Kong. But like when he's like running around and there's like a body of another giant Kong.
No, there's a bunch of skeletons of him, but there's one that's just a stone statue.
Oh, right. Okay.
And it collapsed in the background.
Yeah.
And Godzilla just blows a hole through the freaking earth.
Was it the same size as King Kong, the statue?
About.
Yes,
about.
If it's the same size, then I would just assume that it was like volcanic ash that solidified over a Kong or something. That's what I thought it was.
It seemed more rigid, like it was actual stone.
Yeah, like they carved that.
Yeah, it was weird because they had the pillars in like the middle, and they looked to be like they didn't seem natural. They seemed like it was created by someone.
Yeah, so like they do want to expand with this Kong universe setup. What?
Maybe the Kongs were smarter 10,000 years ago or whatever.
I don't know.
So that makes sense.
They went backwards. Yeah. They went for
brute
strength versus intelligence.
The thing, but like that's what I'm hoping. So they do a continuation of Kong's story. They try to dig into what's going on with this hollow Earth. Yes. Yes. So I hope they explain what's happening or try to figure out who or what created most of this stuff. Oh my god.
I'm done.
Yeah, they had like different titans in there. Like they had the warbat and the like it was the warhawk and something. It was warhawk and something else.
They're the snake creature, the
Warhorse.
I want no. I can't remember, but I remember they had something like that in the Godzilla animated series. And he fights it, but it has like smaller fins.
That lizard, that giant lizard that you see in the Hollow Earth, people theorize that could be Manila, like Godzilla's son.
The flying one?
No.
There's a
there's a serpent
thing.
That looked like, but that's not it.
Like an early reptile.
It's just a giant lizard. It looks like.
Yeah.
People think that could be Manila.
That's not it. That's not it.
I think
people also think that the crabs, like the bunch of crabs, could also be Destroyer.
No, because Destroyer was made by humankind. That's basically from the.
Well, they were made by the Oxygen Destroyer, and
that's basically what happened.
Yeah, but that was introduced in King of the Monsters. So people are kind of like putting two together and like saying, all right, these crabs got the mutation from Oxygen Destroyer.
But the thing is, the Oxygen Destroyer was on like our side, not the Hollow Earth side. So how would that flow into the Hollow Earth?
Godzilla can get between both worlds.
Well, technically his world was still on. Technically, his location where he wasn't the king of all monsters. His was still on our side. He never went into a portal that took him to somewhere else.
Right, like the natural characteristics of the bomb, so he can't seep down past the ocean floor.
One of the crabs got radioactive, and they bit King Kong in the hand, and that's how he got his powers.
Goodbye.
I want to talk about that scene when they're all in the that cave and whatnot. Was finds the axe, and they're just
when he's reloading the axe.
Yeah, he's reloading the axe, and they're like, he's gathering energy from like the radiation of the earth. I was like, all right, well, you're all going to die pretty soon because you're going to get a massive amount of radiation poisoning because you have no protective gear.
Yeah, that was. I mean, they were in their ships. I mean, they left it. I mean, these movies aren't really made to be realistic. They're supposed to be stupid. I mean, there's giant fucking skyscraper monsters blowing half the city up, and everyone's still, fine, and the economy's still booming somehow, even though everything's being flushed down
the kaiju parts, man. The kaiju parts, like Pacific Rim, they're selling that shit on the black market.
I guess so.
Whenever Godzilla destroys something, Godzilla takes a piss. Someone collects it and sells it.
Yeah, I don't know. They haven't been to Hollow Earth yet. It was like I wanted. No. It seemed like it was like the Hollow World was like a callback to Jules Verne, The Journey to the Center of the Earth, which is like where that idea originates, where they go in. It's like an 1800s novel where these scientists or whoever, they go inside the Hollow Earth and they find dinosaurs like in the center of the Earth. I never read it myself. Actually, after watching this, it made me more intrigued to find out more about that book and more about Jules Verne. But I know he was like all into exploration throughout all his novels. So it was definitely like they're taking like the rule book from Jules Verne and like making it their catalyst, like their baseline, basically, like their structure, which I find that pretty cool. Like how the Necronomicon is basically like the Evil Dead. Necronomicon is the Book of the Dead. They take that from what's his name? Lovecraft. Like it's a Lovecraftian thing, and that's like their baseline. So their baseline's like more Jules Verne. So I do enjoy that, how that there's like callbacks to old ideals, and they kind of just run with it. So I think it's pretty nice, pretty cool. Yeah. Now, what are you doing? Are you sleeping?
No, I'm not sleeping. I had to answer something quick. A work-related question.
Well, get out.
Can't stop working.
So, what do you think of Godzilla burning a hole into the Hollow Earth with just in the comic breath?
I think, as
cool.
much as I want to say, yeah, he can do that shit, but at the same time, I'm just like,
it was fine. It's whatever.
I just like, I know, but I just feel like he wouldn't.
It's a giant gorilla fighting a giant lizard, but
I understand, but like
in the first place. So like, who cares? It's fine.
I understand, but like at the same time, but I feel like he's just used up most of his energy doing that.
Oh my god!
Because I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. Like it feels like he may have just. I'm just thinking like logically with this. I feel like this if it was a.
There's no.
If it wasn't movie based, he would. I understand, Josh, but still, they could have thrown some logic in. Godzilla could have wasted more energy fucking doing that and going through the Earth into the hollowed Earth, and that would actually give Kong a freaking like a upside than a downside to it.
I don't know. It was fine
because he'd be more weaker and tired.
I really didn't mind it.
And he had to.
I do want to say it was funny that they had an upside down world where they have Millie Bobby Brown 11 in this universe, and it's like, oh, they're going to the upside down. They're gonna find the Demogorgon.
Right. I was just like, damn, Kong's got the muscles to climb all the way back up.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I was like,
technically, wouldn't you think like that's a more of a down thing? So like, wouldn't you think like once it hits that like halfway point, then he has to climb up? There's even more falling into it.
Oh yeah, because it's like reverse.
Because when he went in, he just slid down with his axe for a little bit. Then he must have hit this certain part. Then he climbed out.
Using his axe to fly because it had Thor powers. Who cares? It doesn't even matter with these movies. Like, there's no logic. It doesn't matter. It's like just it's
whose line is it?
What I needed it to be.
Whose line is it anyway?
What?
Did you like the
whose line is it anyway? The points don't matter. The logic doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It really didn't.
I thought
Robbie?
I thought that Ghidorah callback was pretty cool. How they used the skull as like a cybernetic link to the theme.
Oh, that's what that was. I was trying to figure out what that skull was. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
They mentioned it too.
Yeah, the
I think I like blanked and missed that part because I was trying.
Yeah, the post-credit scene they have like the eco terrorists flying Ghidorah head.
I see. Okay.
And I guess they converted it into cockpit.
Yeah, there's a lot of backstory for the opening credits, which I was like actually like surprised by, and it was they did it in an interesting way. How they're showing clips of like different time periods and how they affected, these gigantic animals that affected humankind throughout the eons. I thought that was pretty cool how they kind of connected that. But like you said, like I missed that whole skull part. I was like, whose skull is that? I thought it was like Godzilla's mom or something. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, they were describing it as because Ghidorah had 3 heads and his neck was so long that they actually communicated telepathically. Yeah. That's how are they able to properly control the Mechagodzilla.
I see. That's why he had his like headset connected to it.
Yeah. But I would feel like the design for the headset felt like a little like poorly. I felt like it'd be like a more like high tech setup than
it looked like VR basically. That's what it looked like. It just looked like a VR headset basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it really was. What did you think that kind of whole scenario, that interpretation of Mechagodzilla?
Yeah, Matt, you would know more.
The thing is, like, where did I put him? I love the original. I do love the original, but we never introduced space aliens yet to this series.
Wait, there's space
so he's kind of like stretched out.
Concept? Is that how he?
The original concept. This is the original Mechagodzilla from like the original, like the older series.
Right.
That's what it looked like. He was introduced by the space aliens that came down and like all that stuff, and they want to exurb and all that crap. But if you killed them, they turn into like these apes. It's weird as hell.
They turn into apes.
But then they turn into apes. They, like the faces start turning ape-like, and it's weird as hell. Yeah, that's in like I think that was in the 1970s.
When everyone was doing drugs.
And Godzilla, Mechagodzilla ended up being Mechagodzilla looked like this, but he ended up like deceiving everybody because he had Godzilla skin on the whole time throughout the whole movie.
So he was
until
Bizarro.
They started ripping. What?
So he was Bizarro, basically.
Yeah, and he was just betraying everybody, and he ended up like ruining all Godzilla's like friendships they established in that movie series, like movie series timeline they had going on. So like until Godzilla ends up like ripping off some of its skin, they end up noticing it's Mecha Godzilla, it's not real Godzilla. But the one I like the most is actually the more better concept is the one from the more like more closer years. It's like the early 2000s, like 1995 to like about 2004. Godzilla. There's like Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and it's this one that they created with old 1954's Godzilla skeleton built into this Mechagodzilla's mech.
So the
and
original
they actually pilot inside of it too.
Wait, hold on. So the original Godzilla from 1950s existed. He died. Then there was another one in the 90s that existed. Was that the son from the 60s who could talk and then he's decided not to anymore?
No. Okay, the one that talks is actually an adopted son to Godzilla.
Oh my god.
He's an adopted son. He adopts him in the series. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but the skeleton from the 1954 one ends up getting put into the Mechagodzilla. And that one goes haywire because supposedly it's kind of like tapping the computers and everything are somewhat bringing back like this spirit of Godzilla, and Godzilla awakens and takes control.
The original.
This is how it goes in this. Yeah,
this sounds like not originally. This doesn't even sound like Godzilla.
No. This is how it goes in this Godzilla movie, and from like I feel like it's like in the I want to say 1996 or like somewhere around 2002, somewhere around that era. Those years, and they have that established, and the spirit of the original Godzilla ends up taking over this Mechagodzilla and destroying Tokyo and ruining everything for them. That's how I thought it was going to go because they ended up having this original. In the first movie, they had a skeleton, supposedly quotes of a Godzilla species in a cavern. That looks like it was supposed to be like defending or guarding the Makuto freaking eggs so they wouldn't awaken. So he just died in the cavern there or died in battle there. That's what I was thinking they were leading towards until they end up in the end of King of Monsters. They end up buying the freaking head of King Ghidorah and having it there. King Ghidorah, King Ghidorah. I lost you, Josh.
What?
And Robbie.
I haven't seen these movies, so I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I'll take it. It's been a while
to show you.
Yeah, I only seen a hand-selected few, you know.
See, what I was for that whole scene with Mechagodzilla, I was hoping that
I'm trying to screen share.
You're trying to show us something?
Yeah, this is the guy. Well,
you're showing his balls.
This guy right here on the left. Oh,
that's a woman.
There's a poster. Yeah, this guy right here, the silver guy here. This is what I kind of wanted them to go towards. This style.
Okay. He does look more interesting than what they use. He kind of looked like one of the dinosaur transformers from what movie was that, Robbie? The dinosaur transformer movie.
It's
the fourth one?
Yeah.
The 12th one? Whatever.
That's the fourth one.
How many are there? 6?
There's 5.
Oh.
5.
Well,
Bumblebee is considered canon to that universe.
There's Bumblebee Tuna.
Bumblebee Tuna.
Wait, what were you saying, Robbie?
I was saying for the Mechagodzilla stuff. I thought it would have been cool if they still used Ghidorah, but like they used his head as Godzilla's head, and like his head was like somewhat still alive, and the suit actually helped to regenerate.
It was like kind of organic. Yeah, that would have been kind of neat.
And part of the organic body took over the mechanical body and turned back into Mecha Ghidorah, because that also happens in the comic. They rebuild Ghidorah.
Well, that's an actual thing in the movies too. And another movie they have is Godzilla versus Mecha Ghidorah, and they were supposed to kill him off in a movie, Godzilla in a movie, because he's a T-Rex on an island, and they put him in the ocean, saying, "All right, fuck him, just put him in the ocean. He's dead." But they put these little baby guys there, and then they nuke it and do all that crazy stuff. But Godzilla comes back, kills him. But they go in the future with King Ghidorah's body and come back from the future with Mecha Ghidorah.
Yeah, so I thought
it's a weird thing.
I thought it would have been cool if they just used his head as Mecha Godzilla, and then like when the link between the pilot and the Mecha Godzilla failed, then Ghidorah's consciousness takes over, and slowly they kind of makes it half organic, half mechanical.
Yeah, that would have been more like Frankenstein-ish. And I know the original concept for King Kong versus Godzilla was going to be King Kong versus Frankenstein, and that's why in the original they shock him. There's a callback where they shock King Kong with I don't even know what they did. They put some giant defibrillator on him or something, and then basically he gets electric shock and his heart kind of begins to beat.
No, they just blow up the ship. The ship blows up in this movie on him.
So I thought that was a nice callback to the electric shock that he gets to his heart, and in the 1962 film, he basically powered by getting struck by lightning. So it would have been neat to see Ghidorah as half mechanical, half organic. It would have been more like a horror picture at that point. Would have been pretty cool.
Oh yeah. But I was expecting with the head thing, when it starts going haywire, I was actually expecting it to just regrow its skin, like you were saying, and just make itself in that building, in that laboratory, and then break through everything. And then Godzilla would be like, "Oh fuck."
So, yeah, I interpreted when the pilot died because something went haywire. I interpreted that as Ghidorah's consciousness came back alive. Yeah, and his consciousness is in the Mecha Godzilla suit. He wants revenge.
Yes. Yeah, that would have been awesome. That would have been that would have been almost like the Doomsday episode, or the Doomsday thing in Batman vs Superman, where it's Zod turns into Doomsday, which was stupid, but in this it would have been cool.
And I think that's why Godzilla was getting crazy and attacking those sites. I think he wasn't sensing what the humans were doing. He might be sensing Ghidorah's consciousness,
Ghidorah's head,
and he's flipping out. He's like, "Oh shit! I killed this guy!" And he's just going after it anyway, because he might have transported that entire skull the same way they transported those eggs, underground.
Right. Oh, what are those things called? The skull crawlers or whatever? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, the skull crawlers.
Yeah. Yeah, it would make sense. Skull Island,
Yeah. So that's why I think he attacked that facility in Florida, because it had Ghidorah's skull, and they transported it to Hong Kong, and that's why
that
he
makes
just
sense.
Went to Hong Kong.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. I think there's little points that you could add to the story that would make it a little better. But there's nothing you really need to take away from it that would make it better either. It's just kind of it helps. It stands alone, and I like how it's short. It's not overly bearing. It's not too long. It's a little sense of levity. It's it's only under 2 hours. Oh my God, movies aren't made like that anymore. I want that in movies. I don't want them to be overly long. I don't need them to be 3 hours all the time, or 2.5 hours. Under 2 hours is perfect, especially for this simple kind of story. You know, you don't need it to be so bloated.
No.
So what do you think of the final fight scene, Josh?
I thought it was awesome. I was getting amped up the whole time. Like I got home and I didn't have my shirt on, so I was just like, yeah, yeah, you know, I was getting pretty amped up, and this is a good movie to watch if you want to, you know, if you're getting ready for like a game or something, like say you're playing like a soccer game or lacrosse or something, you want to get amped, you know. You don't even need to watch the whole movie. Just watch one of the fight scenes and just go like, you know, and get that energy and focus it into your craft. So I think this is a good flick to watch before that, you know, to amp you up. It was amping me up.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty like even and like good fight that they had.
Yeah, it wasn't like bullshit. Like there wasn't fucking Godzilla smashing King Kong over the head with a sink or any of that nonsense. There was none of that. You know, it was great.
The one weird thing I thought was like when Godzilla like hits Kong like in midair, he kind of smiled.
Right,
I was like,
yeah, it was pretty. I was expecting them to do like after they team up at the end and they fight off Mechagodzilla. I thought they were gonna like nod at each other, like basically do like a head nod. But they didn't do that. I kind of liked how he just turned around and they're like, all right, they're on like equal stance. But you know, it was
more superior.
Yeah, I think I was like kind of curious where the other monsters were from the second Godzilla. Like they show this fucking gorilla mammoth thing, and like at the end of it, and I was like, that thing's awesome. I want to see that. I want to see that movie, whatever the fuck that is. And they didn't show it. Obviously, you know, it'd be too bloated if they added all these monsters. But once they have like, what's the one with when they have all the monsters in it, Matt, and they fight each other? What is that called? Godzilla one.
There's a few of them, but like the Final Wars is literally the one. Final Wars is literally Godzilla fights everything.
Yeah. So I feel like that's what like it's gonna be setting up towards, like Godzilla, like Final Wars or War of the Monsters, whatever it's called.
Because
the hit like just them all fighting each other, and they like kind of like pre-establish all these monsters, like that mammoth gorilla thing. That was fucking awesome. I want to see that. I want to see that thing again. You know, they only showed
like a one-hit knockout though.
No, he's gonna be like King Kong's friend because they're like he's half gorilla and they're gonna be brothers. They're gonna team up. All right, he's gonna make it to the end, or I'm gonna be pissed. I'm not.
I gotta say, when Godzilla came out of like the mountain, I heard like John Cena's like theme song in the background.
Yeah, it seemed like that kind of moment. Yeah.
And Godzilla's getting like ass handed to him.
Yeah, he got.
Oh,
destroyed.
Oh god, he got ruined.
It was pretty brutal. It was nice when like they kind of came to equilibrium and like the whole time when that little girl Gio was crying, I like wanted to give her a hug. I'm like, oh, she's so cute. Oh no,
Right.
and then he ramps up and he's like, he nods at his friend and he's like, yeah, I got this. And he goes in with his thorax and he flies. You know, it's amazing.
He's like, oh shit. Now I gotta see
Yeah.
I do like Kong's recovery though with that. Like they literally just basically brought him back from the dead, and when he gets up and they tell him basically what he has to do, he just snaps his arm back into place and just gets ready to do shit again.
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome.
He didn't just like give up like, do I really have to do this shit? Like, do I have to go against that?
I felt like WWE they both grabbed like his arms and just like threw him into a building.
Yeah, it was definitely it definitely had good vibes. Yeah, but that's what I want from these films. You know, I wanted to be like a
crazy shit happening.
A full out wrestling match.
Another thing I like they did in the battle between Godzilla and Kong, as it did in the callback to the 1962 one, is when Kong shoves a tree down Godzilla's throat. Kong shoves the axe handle down Godzilla's throat.
that's true.
Like,
when I
eat
saw
your
that, I was like,
vegetables.
yeah.
I did like how they did have a lot of callbacks to the original. I was actually surprised how many they had to it. I thought they were like going to completely ignore it, but it was like the callbacks that they had, they made sense of the story, and it wasn't just like nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. It was like it actually fit the story and it progressed what was going on, and I did enjoy that. It wasn't like Rogue One where like you clap when you see R2D2 and C3PO for 1 second of the film. It wasn't like pointless and gratuitous like that. It helped progress the story. It didn't stop the story in its tracks to go like, oh, remember this thing? Yeah, but why am I seeing it now? Oh, you clap now. You know R2. Yay. I didn't have any of those moments, which I'm glad it didn't. And I think it would have been those moments would have actually been more acceptable in this kind of franchise than Star Wars. And just compare two different franchises. So you do it right.
I like that Godzilla knew to like, all right, I'm going to aim for that axe and shoot my dog.
Yeah, charge it out.
Yeah.
Charge it up. They were definitely teaming up at that moment.
Yeah.
It's kind of gave me like an Iron Man feel though. Like remember in Iron Man 2 when they shoot their hand beams at each other, War Machine, and it does the explosion. That's how it felt when they're doing the freaking beam, and then finally it overloads the axe and sends off the beam. Like there's a pulse that knocks them both back.
Yeah, I got that
movie.
I got that feeling when Godzilla and Mechagodzilla were shooting beams at each other. But also, I want to point out too, and I know this is just me nitpicking.
Oh
but
God!
When that little drone picked up like the power source from like the whole Earth, and it just like you just see like the computer screen like downloading. You can't download power. I just want to make that clear.
That's true.
I'm sorry.
No.
There was another nitpick I had that probably only bothered me, but when the freaking New Zealand kid was like trying to hack into Mechagodzilla, and then he just like pours a can of soda or his alcohol.
It's Benny's alcohol that his dead wife gave him.
It was so stupid. I was like, this is dumb. But I'm glad it didn't like. I thought that was it. I thought that was the end of Mechagodzilla because he poured soda on the computer desktop. But that wasn't it. It just slowed him down. I was like, all right, fine. I could accept that. But it was like completely, depowered at that moment. I would have been like, this is cheap. That was such a, that was a cheap knockout right there.
All right.
But oh wait, go ahead.
I was saying, I do like how they gave Kong the finishing moves on Godzilla because Godzilla, proved himself to be the king of all monsters. But it was also good. It's good to see Kong portrayed as the hero to get that final win.
He's definitely more sympathetic. I mean, he's kind of more humanoid. He has the same. He could project facial features and emotions like we can. You're not going to get that out of a giant lizard. So I'm glad they kind of made Kong the more sympathetic hero type versus Godzilla. I could have used a little bit more Godzilla, like maybe like a solo scene with Godzilla. They kind of did in the beginning with Tampa or wherever. It wasn't even Tampa. I just keep calling it Tampa. And then that Florida scene. But I wish there was like another thing. But like I said, I'm glad they kept me wanting more and not wanting less. So that's exactly what I want from a film. I want it to make me want more. So I'm excited for what they're going to do in the future for this franchise. Are they going to bring in Superman to fight King Kong Godzilla? Who the fuck knows? They might do it at this point. What do you guys have any final thoughts on King Kong? What is this called? Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Do you have any final thoughts?
Overall, with all the Godzilla and King Kong like movies they put out,
there's only
three other movies. 3 other movies.
What 3 other movies?
It's Godzilla, King of All Monsters, and Kong.
Well, yeah, but obviously out of the 2, there's only 2 Godzilla vs. King Kong movies.
Well, I'm thinking of the franchise, the monster universe that they made with this.
Okay,
that's separate.
Right. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, see, this universe they're making, I have to say this movie is probably my favorite one out of it all.
Yeah,
because it felt more monster action packed, then I have to get like all this human plot in here. I just enjoyed how it just went. These are monsters. They're attacked. They have to fight each other. There's somewhat a reason why, but we just want to see them fight.
Yeah, I
That's
agree. I
basically
think this is probably my favorite out of franchise too. I mean, Kong Skull Island I liked a lot too. You know, I actually like the human characters within that film. I mean, it had two Marvel actors in it too, so they were pretty charismatic. So I enjoyed that. The other Godzilla movie, like I like the fight scenes, but like you're saying before, Matt, it was kind of taking itself too seriously. So I was like kind of like about it. I didn't even see the first Godzilla film. But you know, I enjoyed this one. I would give this an 8 out of 10. I would rate it higher than the Snyder Cut because I enjoyed it more than the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut was such a slog to get through. I think it was just because I watched it in one go. This, you know, I mean, this I didn't watch in one go either, but it's such a breeze. You know, it was just it's under 2 hours. That's what I love really most about it. It was just like to the point. Didn't give you a bunch of bullshit. It just gave you what you wanted, and then it went to credits, and it kept you wanting more. And that's what I wanted from this.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie, final thoughts?
I did like the film a lot. I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. Just because going into these movies, it's just big monsters fighting. You gotta
right.
Like, come on, guys, don't analyze.
There's no need of a plot.
No,
right.
No, definitely not.
And to your point, Josh, it keeps you wanting more as well. I don't know if they're doing any more Godzilla movies, but
I think after this, like, why wouldn't
I hope so.
Because,
I think they may add one more. I think they want to add. I think they're going to add maybe one more to finish the trilogy of Godzilla, and probably maybe try to continue on with Kong. Because he only has one movie. If it follows like most things, everything ends with a trilogy.
I hope they came up with that more.
I want to see more of that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
I want them to fight aliens.
They can fight space Godzilla.
Yeah.
Technically, God, that is a thing. But they need another. They need another monster to make Space Godzilla, and it's weird as hell. Yeah, they needed 2 movies to make him.
They already have aliens.
I know, but there's a plant monster that I forget his name.
Ireton.
And I believe so. Like yeah, and he like absorbs some Godzilla's like DNA and starts forming into what he looks like in the movie. And Godzilla ends up like blowing him up, and his particles from him go into space. And supposedly his particles go into like some kind of like black hole or like some wormhole thing, and like it forms a creature within that, making good Space Godzilla. Yeah, that's weird science within this universe.
I don't know. Like, technically, Ghidorah is an alien.
It is. He is he is the good alien. So source of like the beginning of
they set that up in this universe that he's an alien.
Yeah,
he's always been an alien.
Well, in King of the Monsters, they
from another realm.
They say like he came from essentially he came from outer space, so he's a false.
Yeah.
He's a false king.
I see.
Yeah,
that's why the balance of the force is being teeter-tottered in that film, because there's 2 kings of the monsters. That's why it's
and it was cheap because Ghidorah could regenerate so quickly.
True.
I was like, come on.
Well, back in like the older movies, it never gave him regenerating powers.
Right.
Really. He was always just got destroyed. Like he just lost a head. He lost a head.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. In this one, they give him some like oomph to him.
Yeah.
To get him to give Godzilla more of a fight to fight against in this series.
Yeah, if I was going to be more subjective about it, I'd probably give it a 7. But like I was so entertained by it, I gave it an 8. So probably on another rewatch, I would give it a 7. But I'm more closer to a 7 than a 9 on my rating of an 8 for sure. But I got more out of it than I was expecting, so that's why I rated it an 8. It was very entertaining. Matt, what do you rate this? You didn't rate it.
I'm gonna rate it an 8.5.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. the techie in me was like, oh, some of the stuff doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, a lot of
the thing is, like, I don't want to go by that. I see it as a good movie. It did its job. It's fine. It's a monster flick.
Right.
If it takes itself too seriously, if it's like dwells on the science too much, then like it just doesn't. It gets boring.
No. Well, that's how all Toho movies went anyway. None of the science in their movies made any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually flows like a Godzilla Toho movie in a way.
Yeah,
but they try to add more shit to it.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
They never explained how they made laser beam, freaking rocket launcher crap, and all this other things in their Toho movies. Just like, we got the technology to do this.
Yeah, I really have to say, like this film really went more wild sci-fi stuff than the previous films.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like all Earth stuff.
They really went out blazing with this.
Yeah,
which was really cool to see. It was great, like special effects, and it was like interesting concepts of the different planes split by gravitational shift, so you could like bounce up and down between two lands.
Yeah, that was cool. I like how they played with the gravity. There's some points where I was watching it. I never like believed that the creatures were really there. I always knew that they were kind of CGI, so it almost made me miss like the rubber costumes. Like obviously they're not real, but they're actually interacting with a physical world. So that's what I kind of missed that. Obviously they're not really going to be able to get away with that nowadays. But I just watching more Godzilla than King Kong. King Kong looked more realistic to me than Godzilla. If I'm going to be nitpicky, obviously, with these two giant creatures, they're not really going to look that realistic.
To me, I felt King Kong looked more realistic when he was on our side. Mm-hmm. But when he went to the Upside Down, it gave me this weird feeling. Remember that movie Dinosaurs?
The Disney one?
Back when we were kids, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It gave me that feeling because everything was all CGI. To me, it just felt like it was a more up-the-scale dinosaur movie. And because it was such CGI motion.
I don't know.
It felt weird like that.
Going completely on a left turn with Dinosaurs, they filmed that.
That was 100% CGI movie.
No, it's not. They filmed that in real locations, basically like what they would do with BBC Earth's Walking with Dinosaurs. They use real locations. So they used actual physical locations, at least for most of the film, and they just put in dinosaurs. So at least the backgrounds were real and not the dinosaurs.
What?
The
dinosaurs?
No. Especially when they're talking.
Where's Booster Gold?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Booster Gold to fix this problem. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, dinosaurs. Completely different discussion on the completely different.
I don't know. It still gave me that.
If we want to go,
I got that feeling.
We want to go to that realm of Dinosapia and Dinotopia and dinosaurs.
We'll go that next week.
I'm open for it. Maybe not next week. I think I'm a little dinosaur fatigued after this episode.
We can keep going, man.
But you guys have any last minute things before we close the episode?
Nada.
Make sure you get your kaiju damage insurance for your buildings.
Yeah, right? Yeah, the economy is still booming after all that. Who the hell knows how? But, good for them, So this is Josh from BatYard Productions sending you off up and away until next BatYard's finest episode.
And this is Superman's pal, Matt, and...
This is Robbie, becoming Super Friends one episode at a time.
Yay!
Yay!
See, I remember.
We did it. I know you didn't remember.
I love how Josh put it up.
Pretty crappily. I really do that. But yeah, thanks guys. All right. Bye everyone. Please comment and say hi and talk to us about dinosaurs evolving into humans. That'll be great.